Hello guys, welcome back. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Today's topic is method overloading and method overriding. Okay, method overloading and method overriding in Java. So in the previous session, so I have talked about constructor overloading. So we have seen the constructor overloading. So what are the constructor overloading rules? What is overloading first of all? So if you have more than one constructor in the same class, then that is called as constructor overloading. What is method overloading? Method overloading with the same name, with the same name, if you have more than one method, we call it as method overloading. So what is method overloading? If the with the same name, if the method name is same for more than one, then we call it as method overloading. If the method is the same method is name is used multiple times in the same class, then we call it as method overloading. So method overloading. So what is method overloading? Method overloading. Let's say, so let's write a program, then you will understand better. So overloading, overriding. Okay, so here I am creating an project. So here if you see, I am going to create a class. So com dot happy tech trainings, and then here I am going to have calculator. So inside this class, what I'll have? So I'll have a method called void, int sum or add. So this will have int I comma int j. This is there are two parameters it is taking. So this is going to return I plus j. Okay. So in the similar way, if you want, so add three numbers. So see guys, if I am copying pasting, then it is giving error. So if you place the cursor there, so duplicate method, it is a duplicate method. So there are rules for overloading. What are the rules for overloading? Overloading rules. Okay, overloading, method overloading rules. Method overloading rules. So what are those? Number one should be method name should be same. Method name should be same. So otherwise we don't call it as method overloading. And then so from here one of the property should be unique, either number of parameters params or order of params or so number of parameters or order of parameters or type of parameters params should be unique in this, right? So one of them should be at least unique. So one of them should be at least unique. So this is the method overloading rules. So let us see. So now here, this what I'm doing is, so this I'm going to take three parameters int k. So now it is not giving any compilation guys. So plus k. This is the other. Now, so this is one of the properties it is checking. What is that? Number of parameters are different and total number of parameters are different, right? Now I'll have one more like this, same. So here what I'll do, instead of integer, I'll take float. I'll pass float, right? So here if you see here, type mismatch. So here return, I am returning float. So return type will not come into picture if it is different return type also. So it is not a overloading rule. Return type is not part of return type is not part of overloading rules. Return type is very important, guys. Return type is not part of overloading rules. Return type is not part of overloading rules. Return type is not part of overloading rules. So see guys, here this is overloading. Add method is multiple times is there. So here if you see int, float, int, if you have some long also, it will not be having a issue. So this is also called as so overloading, but return type will not come into the part of overloading rules. So overloading rules are name should be same. So the number of parameters here, number of parameters is 2, or order of parameters number of parameters, or order of parameters, or type of parameter. At least one should be unique to do the overloading. So this is the overloading rules. Okay, now to check it, we can create a class calc manager. So here I'll have a main method. So inside this main method, I'll create an object for calculator. This is my calculator object. So now I can pass int total equals to calc dot add. So I am passing two numbers now. First, so 10 plus 10, it should give me the 20. So I'll print it. Two numbers. So here it should print me total. Right, guys, you understood? So now the other part, so int total, sorry, int to the same object I'll put. Otherwise, float f equals to calc dot add 10 comma 22.5. So here I'm calling this. This is giving one error, guys. You don't know why it is giving error. So if you place the error, or if you place the mouse over on that error, then it will show. So calculate the method int comma int in the calculator is applicable for arguments int comma double. So by default, if you give any decimal, it will treat as double. But actually, what is there here? It is there float. So we have to specify by giving f. We are specifying, okay, this is my float value. We take it as float. Any decimal in Java, if you give, it will take as double. So to specify it is float, we have to give f. Okay, now this will print again. So float sum. So I'm printing float sum. So if you see here, so if I print, then it will be printing 32.5. Right? Got it? So this is the other part. So this whole concept is called as overloading, method overloading. So method overloading is we can have as many methods as we want. The best example is this. So a calculator, we can add two integers, one integer, one decimal, all the stuffs, right? So I'm doing the same thing here. This is method overloading within the same class. If you want within the same class, if you want the same method to be repeated, so doing the different tasks. Here it is doing the task of adding two numbers. Here it is doing the task of two numbers, adding two numbers, but one is integer, other one is float. And here it is adding the three numbers. So that's how it is. So we call it as method overloading. So method overloading rules are, so method name should be same. Number of params or order of params or type of param should, one of them should be unique. Either number of params or order of params or type of param should be unique. One of them should be unique. Then otherwise, if all three are same, then it will tell as duplicate method. Duplicates will not be allowed in Java. Be it you take anything, be it constructor, be it is variable, whatever it is. So duplicates will not be allowed in Java. So same rules for constructor overloading and method overloading rules are same, but the thing is return type is not part of overloading rules. Return type is not part of overloading rules, guys. This is about method overloading. Now let's go to method overriding. So what I will do, I'll create a class called parent class or identification class. So I have identification class. So in this class, what I will have is, so what I will have here is, I will have Boolean. Boolean is my return type, and then identify. Identify. Identify is my method. So this method will take two parameters, pan, and then other one is Aadhaar. Aadhaar or SSN in other countries. So this is the method which we are writing in the identification class. This is a method which we are writing in the identification class. So here what I want is, I wanted to check, simply I am returning. So if Aadhaar pan is not null, or pan equals to pan is equals to ABC and Aadhaar is equals to XYZ or 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm returning true. Simple method I have written. So this logic is not important, guys. What we are trying to do is, so we will declare a flag here, Boolean flag equals to false. By default it will be false. So if the condition is true, then I will make it as true and then return flag. Okay, flag. You got it? So this is a simple method. What I have done is, I have written a class, identification class. Inside this, I'm identifying. If my PAN is ABC and Aadhaar number is 234, guys, this is first time for temporarily I have written no PAN will be ABC, no Aadhaar will be 234. Just to show you. So PAN, if PAN is ABC and Aadhaar is 234, then what I'm doing is, then flag it as true. So this will return true. This is my identification. Let's say this identification is written in something old time. Recently I have written a new identification class. So what I will do, I will derive new identification. So in this new identification, so is I will extend the old identification class. So identification, I'm sorry, in the identification. So there is a typo. So we can rename this. So here you just copy paste, right? So this is my latest identification class. So in this class, what I wanted to do is I wanted to override. I don't want with PAN and Aadhaar. I wanted to do it with driving license and driving license are see the same thing. I wanted to give it differently. So earlier when I have written if PAN is ABC and Aadhaar is 234, I'm flagging it true. I don't want to give that. I wanted to do differently. So identify, I am going to override. This is the concept of overriding. So when you do inheritance, see when you derive a class, new class from the base class, all the properties and methods will be inherited, right? Except private. Except private, all the properties and methods will be inherited. Except constructor and private, all be properties will be inherited to the subclass. So identify also will be inherited to the subclass here, right? So here identify method will be inherited here. So now if you want in the child class different functionality, we can do that. How can we do that? So here I'll do if my Aadhaar card is XYZ and PAN number is 97865 like this, then I am making as flag true. Got it? So this is my in the new derived class, the logic is like this. So why do we go for overriding? If you want a different functionality of the base class, so base class is offering some functionality. If you want a different functionality in the child class, we can go for method overriding. So why we will go for method overriding? What is method overriding? Method overriding. So method overriding is to give the different behavior different behavior of the method. So methods are giving behavior for the entity, right? Behavior, then so we go for to 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 give the different behavior, we go for method overriding. To give the different behavior, we go for method overriding. What are the method overriding rules? What are the method overriding rules? See guys, now if I do this, so exactly same. So in the method overriding, method syntax should be exactly same. Order of parameters, list of parameters, type of parameters should be same. So unlike method overloading, so here method name should be same. Method name should be same. Method name should be same. Number one. Number two, so number of parameters, params should be same. Same. Third, type of params should be same. Fourth, order of params also should be same. Order of params also should be same. And the last, is the return type also should be same. Return type also should be same. Should be same. So return type also should be same. So guys, these are the rules for method overriding. Method name should be same, number of parameters are same, type of parameters should be same, and the order of parameters should be same. Return type also should be same. Let's say I will give this return type as int. So it is giving me error. See here, the return type is incompatible with the identification.identify. So this is the thing. So we should have same return type. Return type also should be same for method overriding. Method overriding. So this is the method overriding concept, guys. So exactly same we should have, but inside that the logic can be anything. So when you do overriding, so inside that logic can be anything. This is the annotation, guys. So by default it will come. Even if you remove it also, it will not have any issues. It will compile. It will treat as overriding. So if you have this, then it is a strict. So it's an annotation. So you'll be covering a separate session for that. Okay. So now let us try and see. Let us create an object for this and try. Identity manager is my class. So inside this, I will have a main method. And then here I'll create an object for identification, new identification. So then I can call, right? So inside my system.out.println only I will call id.identify. So what I will pass here, ABC and 234. ABC and 234 I'll pass 234. Right. So let us run this and check. True. So exactly same way what I will do, latest identification, new identification, I'll create an object, new identification, NID is equals to new identification. So here also I will call system.out.println. So NID dot equals, so here I'll pass XYZ comma 7865. 7865. I'm passing this because, sorry, identify. So I'm passing this because I have hard coded that here. So if you see here in the new identification XYZ and 7865, then it'll return true. Otherwise, it'll return false. Let's run this. So it will return 2 times. So if I give something extra here, then it'll return me false. That if condition will not be executed. Got it, right? So this is method overriding. So in inheritance, now this is my ID object, right? So now there is a very important concept. ID is equals to, I will create a new object again, new identification, new identification. Now let's say this is possible, guys. So this is possible. A superclass reference can point to the subclass object. This is very important. A superclass reference. So what is superclass here? So let us do that. So this is my superclass. What is this? Identity. Identity. Identification. Identification is the superclass. So what is the other child class? Child class is new identification. So this is the child. This is the parent. This is the parent. This is the child. That's right. This is the parent. This is the child. Right. So what we have done here, guys? What we have done here, superclass reference. So we'll see. This is the stack and heap. Let's say this is my stack. This is my stack. And then this is my heap. This is my stack and heap. So here main method will be loaded, and then inside main method, the first line or this line. When it comes to this line, so what is it doing? Identification ID1. So ID1, it is going to point to one object, so which is the new identification object. This is a new identification object, right? New identification object. So this object, it is trying to point, right? So in Java, superclass reference can point to superclass reference can point to subclass object. So this is a rule. Superclass reference can point to subclass object. So you can either subclass object or child class. Parent class reference can point to child class object, or superclass reference can point to subclass. Vice versa is not possible. It's not allowed. Subclass reference cannot be pointed to the superclass object. Let us try that. So what is our subclass? Subclass is child class. Child class is new identification. ND1 I'm giving, NID1. So here, let me try to create an object for identification. So this will not be allowed. See, it is giving error. So cannot convert identification to the new identification. This is the error. So it cannot cast. So we cannot point. So we cannot point child reference to the superclass object. Child reference cannot be pointed to superclass object. Let's say NID. So I'm giving NID is equals to ID. See, it will not be allowed. So it is saying cannot convert from identification to the new identification because it's a child class reference. So child cannot be child reference cannot point to parent object. This is a rule in Java. So that's why it was giving compilation error. I have commented out. As you understood, now let us see. Now here my ID is pointing to the child object. Now let us see what it prints. So as I am doing SOP now, so here parent calling child. I'm giving the text and then I'm calling ID1 dot identify. So here I'll give so XYZ comma 234. Let us see what it prints. XYZ comma 234, right? So 234 also a string, guys. So now if it is going to the parent, then it should give us the, if it is going to the parent, then it should give us the true. If it is going to the child, then it should give us the false. So it is giving false. So if you remember here, at the time of compilation only, it will take the superclass reference. At the time of running this reference, where is it pointing? So this reference, where is it pointing? It is pointing to the new identification object. It will go to the new identification object and try to execute the identify method, right? So now let me comment out this. I have commented out this. Now let us run this. Then what is happening? Then it is also going there. It is so here I think we have to clean it one more time. So let me check clean. Two, three, four. Sorry, A, B, C. We have done some small mistake. So let me put back again here. So instead of passing ABC and 2, 3, 4, I have passed the different one. Okay. So now let me run this and show you. So I'm running this, and then here it is giving false. Now what I'll do, I'll comment this out. So it should let us see what it does. It is giving true, guys. So when here there is no concept of overriding, so it is by default. So new identification will inherit this, and then it is calling that it is working. If you keep this, then only it will call this. So at the time of running, where it will check, at the time of compilation, what it is checks. So compilation, what type it is, what type it is, it will check. So at the time of running, where it is pointing, running, where it is pointing. So this reference where it is pointing to that class object only it will call, that class method. So at the time of compilation, so when we do the child class reference to point to the object class, right, what type it is checking and then giving the error. Okay, so that's the reason. So this is the method overloading and method overriding, guys. I hope you understood this. It will help you. If you have not understood, please rewind the video one more time. You'll be able to understand. Okay. So thank you, guys. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Please share it to your friends. Thank you. We'll see you in the next session.